Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Darren Hann, and welcome to Pocket Universe. On today's episode, we have Mike Bruff, Gun Wrangler, Ashley Smashley Draws, and David Pynn, Captain America Cosplayer. Come on back after this. I want to welcome to the show Mike Bruff, Gun Wrangler. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hi, thank you very much. Glad for him.
Mike, tell us what a gun wrangler is.
In film, television, theater, so on and so forth, a gun wrangler basically is weapon safety, fake weapons, knowing the safe procedures, and helping the people who aren't as familiar with firearms or with weaponry to act with them safely, still provide a great show, and make sure nobody gets hurt.
Excellent. How did you get into the business? How did you get into the business to become a gun wrangler, I should say?
I've got a history in the military of teaching firearms.
Okay.
I'm an avid firearms user, and I also had experience with black powder. I got into the industry on the biggest of flukes. I was doing background for a show that was filming here that used a lot of black powder firearms.
Yeah.
And I was doing a background position. I was acting as a gun dealer.
Okay.
And this lady, who I didn't know who she was, she brought me by a couple of muskets and some musket pistols, and I started to do the safety checks on them.
Yeah.
And normally, when you're background, you don't touch anything. But when she handed me the musket, I was like, okay, well, I have to safety this. And the lady said to me, no, don't touch it. I said, no, but you handed me a weapon. Therefore, I have to safety it. So she asked me how.
Yeah.
What I didn't know was this lady was the property master for the whole show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so she started watching what I was doing. And she said, she started asking me some questions and just, how do you do this and why are you doing this and why are you doing that?
Right.
And by the end of the day, I was in for an interview showing and providing my my worksheet, if you will, my CV.
Yep.
And after that, I got a trial under someone, and once I was approved, I was doing the black powder wrangling for a show. And it grew from there with my experience set into things like airsoft, the definition of ammo, how to safely move everything around on set, and how to take people who don't have any experience and provide them a safe, controlled environment so that they can act and provide the show you want.
Go back real quick. Black powder, what's that used for?
Black powder is muskets.
Muskets, okay.
So Master and Commander.
Gotcha.
That type of movie.
Okay, yep. Boom.
That stuff.
The old muskets, okay.
The old muskets. It's, oh, sorry, go ahead, please.
Airsoft?
Airsoft are basically replica guns
Yep.
that fire a little plastic BB using either spring power or compressed air.
Okay.
And airsoft has become adapted a lot in movie and television because it is so much safer than bringing live powder, live bullets, or live blanks, I should say, on set. You should never have live bullets on set.
Okay.
So with airsoft, once it's made safe, then it's handed to the actor.
Right.
And they still use what's called the off-axis theory. So rather than if you and I were acting, you were pointing a gun at me.
Sure.
If the camera allows it, instead of pointing it directly at me,
Yep.
you'd point it off-axis.
So if we were here now and I had a gun, I would point, my gun would be...
Well, depending on where the camera was.
Yep.
So say this is the camera we're going to use.
Yep.
If you pointed more this way,
Yep.
there's less chance of the camera. It looks to the camera like you're pointing at me.
That's right, yep.
But if anything goes wrong,
Yep.
you're not pointed at me.
That's right, it's not
Okay?
pointed at you.
So the biggest part of our job, we work under props.
Sure, yeah.
And our biggest part of our job is making sure that the props department has a person whose sole job is the safety, care, and control of pretty much any type of weapon in a movie environment.
Okay.
Okay? And if they're fake, it doesn't matter. We treat them all exactly the same way. So a piece of plastic that's shaped like a crossbow, doesn't matter. It's still treated that way.
So you would treat $10 gun that you would buy in a dollar store to use as a
Yep.
prop the same way as you would
Yes.
something that was loaded.
Yeah, and the reason you do that is when you're working with anything that's dangerous, be it like everybody thinks about firearms,
Sure.
but it's the same way working with drills, it's the same way working with power equipment.
Yeah.
If you get into a bad habit with a fake, that bad habit can get carried over to a real.
That's true.
If you teach good habits with everything,
Yep.
then your good habits carry over.
Yep.
So you never say, oh, don't worry about that, that's empty.
Sure. Yeah.
It's always, okay, here you go, here's your prop, here's your action.
Yeah.
So
So practice makes perfect, as they say.
practice makes perfect, and it's always about having somebody who not only has the firearm skill, but what I learned a lot of, and I worked under some phenomenal people,
Yep.
was learning how to work in a movie environment.
Right.
Very high speed, high movement, high pressure. You know, you want to get things done,
Yep.
but it all has to be done safely.
Okay.
So it took me a while, and I'm really thankful for the people I worked for,
Yeah.
because they took what I would call raw knowledge
Sure.
and helped me bridge it over into that environment.
So I'm an actor on the set. I've got to shoot a gun in the air.
Okay.
You come to me. What do we do? I have no clue what I'm doing.
I will treat you just like I'll treat anybody else.
Yep.
I'll assume you have absolutely no clue.
Good.
All right. So I'll bring over,
Yep.
let's say we're using an airsoft revolver.
Okay.
I'll bring over the revolver.
Yep.
I'll show it to you before the shot. I'll show you the safety. I'll show it open, empty.
Right.
If it has any fake, anything that looks like a bullet,
Yes.
I'll prove that it's fake to you.
Okay.
We'll set it all up so you don't have to do anything other than your action.
Yep.
And when it comes time, I'll hand it to you safe.
Yep.
You'll do your action, whatever it happens to be. You'll fire it in the air, you'll do whatever. After the shot, once cut is called, I'll come up, sir, ma'am, however you identify,
Yep.
and I'll take it from you. I'll prove it's safe to me,
Yep.
and then I'll take it offset.
Take it offset like
Yeah.
that. Are there any like you see like a lot of movies? They're like the guns are going crazy. Here in Newfoundland or in Canada, general, is it live ammunition used, or is that something I'm allowed to ask?
Oh, you can ask that. I can't speak to anything except what I've worked on.
Okay.
What I have worked on here in Newfoundland,
Yep.
99%, the only thing that is used is no live rounds.
Okay.
All right? Everything is done in post. So if you take that pistol and, you aim it in the air, you
Sure.
fire that pistol,
Yep.
the spark that comes out, the noise, all of that is done in post.
Oh wow.
Okay? So your spark, and people who are really into movies, especially if you're into heavy gun movies or science fiction movies where there's a lot of shooting and stuff going
Sure,
on,
yeah.
you'll see that the flashes come from so many stock flash images,
Okay. Yeah.
right? Or at least that's been my experience.
Right. Yeah.
So that flash, which they do in post, has nothing to do with what's on screen.
Nothing at all.
So it's very, very anticlimactic what you see on screen while you're filming. Yeah.
When you're filming.
But that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want anticlimactic, you want very safe, you want nobody to get upset,
No, that's right.
That's
right.
And that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's not just me. Like the gun wrangler is one part of a props crew, who's one part of a bigger crew,
Okay. Yeah.
and all of us have to take our expertise and work in a safe manner.
Sure. Yeah.
So in the same way that a person, I say grips, who are setting up all the scaffolding and who are
Okay.
doing all that stuff,
Yep.
all that can be extremely dangerous.
Sure. Yes.
Which is why me as a props person who has
Yep.
no idea how a grip works,
That's right.
I don't go over and try and undo a pole.
No, that's right.
I don't go over and try and help.
Yep.
In the firearms world, because firearms are so very in the public eye,
Yep.
I'm the only one on my set who carries them. If I'm not there, then the other props person is
Yep.
qualified. That's the only person that carries them.
And nobody else touches.
Nobody else touches them. And that way, it goes from me
Yep.
to the actor,
Yes.
from me to the background, from me to the stunt person, and when it's done, it comes back to me and it gets secured.
So even the stunt people
Yes.
come to you. They
Yes.
don't look after their own
Nope.
firearms or anything like that. It's still the one person. You.
Yeah, not in my experience.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I can't speak for anybody other than the places
Sure,
I've
yeah,
worked.
yeah.
But in my experience, the one point, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest safety component of all of this.
Yes.
There's one point in,
Yeah.
one point out.
Right.
So the idea being that nothing that shouldn't be there is there,
No, that's right.
right?
Yeah.
But it is a team effort because it comes right from production right on down.
Yeah.
It's just like any safety culture.
That's right. Yeah.
So the idea is giving a great story. It's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. It looks fantastic on screen when it's done, hopefully,
That's right.
and it's all safe.
Excellent.
So
Well, Mike, thank you for taking the time to come in today and talk to us about being a gun wrangler. I didn't know what it was actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite quite informative. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming in, and we'll be right back after this. And I'd like to welcome to the show Ashley Quirke, graphic designer, flea market vendor. Welcome to the show.
Howdy, Darren. How's it going?
Good. Glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Now, you're a graphic designer and
Yes.
a flea market vendor. Let's
Yes.
talk about the graphic design work first. How did you get into it?
Bit of a long and winding road. I started out doing biology, went and did some digital cartography, and was pretty much told, like, hey, if you want to get further in digital cartography, you need graphic design. So I went and did the 2-year program at CNA,
Okay.
and yeah, I loved it so much. I've always been drawing like since I was a kid, and graphic design and illustration, and I'm just like, this is what I want to be doing. You know, cartography is nice and all, but like this is what I want to be doing.
You want to be doing.
Yeah.
So what's the term for it? Designing, drawing? What's the proper terminology?
There's like, you kind of got to wear a lot of hats. If I was to describe myself, I would say like designer / illustrator.
Okay.
My design work is pretty heavily focused in illustration. Yeah, so.
Like what? What would that be? What would be an example of that?
Oh.
Like books or comics? Or?
Yeah, I've done children's books. I've done like posters. I've done, you name it, pretty much.
Now this
I've done quite
guy,
a bit.
this guy down here.
Yes,
So you designed this guy.
I designed this guy. This is my little sushi cat. He's probably my most popular, if not one of my most popular designs. He's a pussy cat in the front, and he got a little bum in the back.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So I
Well,
mean,
you got to have that.
cats, sushi, what's not to love, right?
This is true. So where did you come up with the idea for this guy?
I notoriously love sushi. Like, whoops.
That's okay.
Told you I'm notoriously clumsy too. No, I love cats. I love
Yep.
sushi. So I'm like, it would be really cute if, you know, there was a cat with his little butt sticking out of a sushi roll. I don't know.
So he's not like a character from a
No.
TV anime show or anything like that.
No.
Just something you came up yourself.
I came up with him myself, yes.
Cool. So now, when you go to do a design like this, there's like a lot of different colors, a lot of different layers. How do you come up with an idea as an illustrator?
That's a really good question. Usually I have some kind of an idea in my mind of what I want to do. So I'll usually start with like a preliminary sketch, either like digitally or, you know, traditionally pen and paper, pencil and paper. From there, I might Google like anime sushi just to like get some idea for like the colors, the structure.
Right.
See how, you know, when you're doing design work, you don't want to directly copy other people, but it's important to like have a good idea in your head of what you want things to kind of look like.
Sure.
I've never drawn fish eggs in my life, so I had to look up how to draw fish eggs, like that kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, you look off, see what's out there, and just kind of make your plan from there and go.
Now, you mentioned pen and paper and computer.
Yeah, I do both.
They, do both. What is? Do you have a favorite?
Digitally, absolutely digitally. I can paint, not spectacularly well, but I can paint. But you know, give me an iPad or give me like any kind of Photoshop-y tool, and I'm good to go.
Good to go on that.
Yeah.
So do you use like pen and paper much anymore, or is that something that most illustrators don't do anymore, or just older illustrators?
I think it really depends on the person. Usually my very, very preliminary ideas are traditionally sketched, or usually I'll have like a little notebook and a pencil, like just when I'm out and about, because you never know, like you might see something, it's like, oh, that's such a good idea, or oh, I want to do this. So, I'll write it down. If I don't write things down, I will forget them.
Oh, we're all like that.
Yeah, so I definitely more when I first started, I was more, I would always start pencil and paper. I find nowadays, since I got my iPad, I just start there.
Start there. Now, so this guy here, you had this guy made.
Yes.
You're also a flea market vendor at the local convention scene.
I do.
Tell us how you got into that.
Jeepers creepers. I gotta think back now. I think I just had a really supportive friend group.
Yeah.
And I was kind of pushed towards it, like, Ashley, you draw a lot. Like, you should try selling some of that stuff. And so I did. I actually started first, like, when Pokemon Go, remember that one summer when it was, like, really big?
Yep.
I bought some shrink film and designed some little, like, team charms. And, you could represent your team. And I remember there was this big Pokemon day down at Bowering Park, and I had a bunch of them, and people were buying them, and it was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And I guess,
for sale.
Yeah, you get kind of, hooked on the thrill of it, I guess.
Sure,
I don't know. It's fun.
And so what other products do you sell at the flea markets? Is it mostly just stuff you make yourself?
It's everything that I sell has been drawn or designed by me.
Okay.
Everything. And I sell way too many things. Prints, stickers, charms, pillow plush. I recently got in t-shirts. I'm getting in tote bags. Jeepers creepers. Way too many things.
Way too many things. What flea markets or events do you attend during a year?
Anyone I can get my little hands on. I've done farmers markets. I've done Sci-Fi, Avalon Expo,
So Sci-Fi on the Rock, that's a convention here in St. John's.
Yes.
Yep. Avalon Expo. That's
convention here in St. John's.
in St. John's also.
Yeah.
And what other ones?
Gander Geek Fest, which
Gander
is
Geek Fest.
a little convention in Gander.
Yep.
Some sweet.
Some sweet.
I love that convention. And Atlanticon too.
Atlanticon, that's in Corner Brook.
That's in Corner Brook, yeah.
Excellent. So do you do regular flea markets besides that?
Sometimes I'll do, like, if the farmer's market has, like, a queer market or a geek market, I'll go to those, yeah.
Do you sell any of your stuff online?
I do. I have an Etsy store. I mostly just focus on my Pride stickers on my Etsy store.
Okay.
You can just hit me up on Facebook, really. I have pictures of most all of my products there. And if there's anything that you fancy, send me a message.
That's what I was just going to ask you next. If somebody's interested in getting you to do some work for them,
Oh, yeah.
or they want to buy some of your products online, how do they contact you? I know you just mentioned Etsy, but if you got a full address, just...
Yeah, smashleydraws@gmail.com is my email. You can also contact me, Smashley Draws, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any kind of social media platform. If there's a Smashley Draws on it, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
And how did we get from Ashley to Smashley?
That's a nickname I got like years ago.
And you put it to use.
I put it to use, yeah.
Excellent. Well, Smashley, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back after this. If you have questions or comments about Pocket Universe, you can email us at darren.pocketuniverse@gmail.com. And welcome back. I want to welcome to the show David Pynn, Captain America cosplayer and outside events coordinator for the Sci-Fi on the Rock convention. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Dave, tell us first about your cosplay work as Captain America. How did you get into it?
Oh, funny story is that I was at Party City one time about 4 or 5 years ago now, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for Halloween, and then they had this quilted Captain America muscle suit.
Okay.
And it was half price.
Yep.
And then I realized that there was a shield over there for half price.
Okay.
And that's how I started cosplaying Captain America. Yeah, little did I know that I was really happy to get everything for $150.
Yep.
Little did I know how much money it was going to cost me in the long run. So I've been at it for, I'd say 4 or 5 years now.
4 or 5 years now. So, character you got on today. Give us a little background on this one version of Captain America.
This version of Captain America is basically when he doesn't want to sign the Accords in Civil War, has this tiny little disagreement with Tony Stark,
Yes,
ends
little
up
one, yep.
giving up his shield, getting persecuted by everybody. It's pretty much his character's name is Nomad. The funny thing is, if you read the comics, Nomad looks like an 80s superstar wrestler costume. Yeah, he's like tight spandexes and everything is ridiculous. But I like this version a little bit better.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So you mentioned that was the one you bought back years ago. Do you have other versions?
Yeah, so the first one, well, like I said, it was like a Halloween costume with quilted muscles and stuff
Yep.
like that. The second one I basically pieced together from a biker's outfit.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought the biker jacket. I went to Mark's Work Warehouse, got some pants, combat boots at the Army Navy store, things like that.
Right.
That was the second one. The
Yep.
third one, this would be the third one.
Right.
This was the Captain America Civil War, or Age of Ultron. Sorry, I'll be killed if I say the wrong one.
Say it around.
And yeah, and so I took this one apart to make Nomad.
Yep.
And the most recent one I have is the last one that he wore in Endgame.
Oh, nice.
The one with the chainmail and things like that. I haven't really had a chance to wear it out too much recently.
No, with everything going on in the world, that's true. Now, besides Captain America, do you do any other cosplays?
Yeah, Spider-Man, like it from the future, 2099.
Yep.
Superman. A cranky elf, we'll call him.
A cranky elf.
Cranky elf, yeah.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, he's like Legolas, but he's Regulus, we call him.
Regular.
Legolas is cranky brother. Because I'm always having to smile and everything when I'm Superman or Captain America or anything
That's
like that. I like to play a cranky character every now and then.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, gotcha. Now, where do you play these characters to? Like, do you do charity events or birthdays or
Yeah.
what do you normally do?
I've done friends' birthdays,
Yeah.
things like that. We've done some charity event stuff at the Janeway. I mean, I've personally gone in and met with patients individually, not
Okay.
affiliated with anybody. Somebody might say, we have a sick kid.
Yeah.
They want to really meet they've had a hard time, you want to meet somebody, then
Oh, that's nice.
I'll go in or I'll find some of my friends and we can go in and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. That must be rewarding and hard.
It is. My biggest thing is that I tell everybody when you do it, it's okay to cry, but do it
Yep.
on the drive home.
That's right. Yeah. Do it on the drive home. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it in front of the kids.
No. Now, with all the conventions in town, do you go to the conventions as a cosplayer?
I go to the convention as a cosplayer and as part of outside events coordinator for Sci-Fi on the Rock.
Sci-Fi on the Rock. And
We usually get like tables at each event, stuff like that. I've been to Avalon Expo,
Yep.
Gander Geek Fest,
Right.
Sci-Fi on the Rock, obviously.
Yeah.
We've done the regatta. There's so many things. The Lantern Festival is one of my favorite. That happens in Virginia Park.
Okay.
And things like that. We're basically all around.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned Sci-Fi on the Rock. For the folks out there who may not know what Sci-Fi on the Rock is, or forget because of COVID, give us a little breakdown of what Sci-Fi on the Rock is and what you actually do with the committee.
Okay, breakdown of Sci-Fi on the Rock is we're the place where anybody who wants to dress up, feel comfortable, wear their nerd pride, geek pride flag, and wear it proudly. We have guests and things like that. We have things to do. We have a lot of costumes.
Yeah.
For me, the things that I do for the convention usually happen outside of the main convention.
Okay.
Because I usually do everything, like if we're doing something in the community or charity work, I'm usually responsible for that. During the convention, I usually just run around helping people and mostly being in costume because we do a lot of, we might have a different type of cosplay groups where kids can come in and meet us during the convention.
Oh, like a meet
that.
and greet sort of thing.
Yes, kind of like that, exactly.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So for outside events now, what does outside events mean? So if someone's got an event or if there's another convention on the go, you're the one that organizes that?
Pretty much, yeah. People will invite us to do different things. I'll liaison with our sponsors if they got
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, we used to do stuff with PJ Billington.
Okay, yeah.
We used to show up we used to have breakfast with superheroes or
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
princes and princesses or Harry Potter, which was a real popular one, and things like that.
Yep.
So I will coordinate with the people at the location to make it happen.
Okay.
And then we have a really good group of cosplay volunteers that we trust around, younger people and stuff like that. And I'll call upon them to come help us out. Also, like Christmas parade, now that I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got the main Sci-Fi on the Rock committee, and then you've got like a group of volunteers, you say, that volunteer cosplayers.
Yep.
And they're the ones that go out with you and go to these events and that.
Yep.
What usually happens at like an outside event?
Oh, God. A bit of everything. Normally it's us in costume, getting pictures with people, talking, interacting with everybody. We try to stay in character while we're doing it and things like that. So I basically picked the perfect costume for ordering people around, apparently.
Good, yes, yeah.
And making sure everybody is nice to everybody and things like that. Yeah, so it's mostly just us trying to interact with the kids and a lot of adults too as well.
Okay. So when you're out like doing something like the regatta or another like open air event that and there's people there want to get a picture with you, is there any charge? Do you guys charge for your pictures?
We do not charge for
So
our
they
pictures.
can just come up and
Yep.
ask, can I have a picture
As
with
long
you?
as you come up and ask.
Come up and ask, yeah.
Come up and ask, yeah. And that's all we ask is that you just, I mean, we do know that people take pictures of us passing by and stuff like that, and that's fine.
Sure.
Sometimes it's nice if you want to get a nice, good picture of us, or you want us to like come close to you, something like that. You just come up and ask. We're all really friendly. We don't care.
Yep.
We love getting our picture taken with people. We love getting our picture taken in our outfits, obviously.
Sure, yeah, yeah. So if somebody wanted to contact you for outside events for Sci-Fi on the Rock or David Pynn Cosplayer, how's the best way for someone to contact you?
Well, I have an Instagram. It's just dpinn, P-Y-N-N.
Right.
I have a Facebook called Old Man Cap.
Old, what?
Old Man Cap.
Old Man
Yeah,
Cap.
Out of
okay.
Time Cosplay is what it's called. People can get a hold of me there personally.
Yeah.
You can contact the Sci-Fi on the Rock Facebook group.
Okay.
That you can message them there, or you can message me.
Yeah.
I have an email, outsideevents@scifionntherock.com.
Outside events.
And I keep an eye on that for any opportunities that show up.
Very
I
good.
can't guarantee that we'll do them all,
No.
but we'll try.
Very good. All right, David. Well, thank you for coming in today and give us a insight into your cosplay and the outreach for Sci-Fi on the Rock. And we'll be right back after this. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody that was on the show today, and especially to Amanda, who is the owner of Heroes and Hobbies. Amanda, ring this guy up for me. I think I'm going to get this.
You got it.
Good. You like my little fluffy purse?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, isn't it? All right. Let's ring this guy in.
You got her.
If you want to get into D&D and you hear so much about D&D from actual plays or podcasts or TV shows or movies, and you're trying to figure out where do you start?
Yeah. So where did you start?
So I started, friends of mine played D&D, and I was really interested in it, and I read some of the books, and I wanted to play, and eventually I was very lucky that I had some friends who encouraged me to play, and I eventually decided that because I wanted to play more, that I would DM for my friends, and then that would allow me to play more, and that would allow other friends who also wanted to play more as well. And from there, I just started DMing a bunch with friends, and then I started volunteering with different events, and the rest is kind of history. And now I have a bookshelf filled with books.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com.